Welcome back to this video training. So I believe by now you have installed VS Code into your computer and you have Google Chrome also as your default browser. All right. So the next thing you want to do now is to create a new folder. Now this folder is going to serve as your main folder, which is your parent folder that's going to be housing all of your HTML projects that you will be doing further on. All right. So yeah, I'm going to create a new folder. All right, by right clicking, then do the new and go to folder. So here I can name this folder. Let's say I want to name this folder Jupiter, like this. All right, so I've named my folder Jupiter. Now this Jupiter folder is going to be my parent folder where I'm going to be keeping all of my projects. All right, so I'm going to open this folder. I'm going to create a new folder. Now this folder I'm going to be creating inside this parent folder is now going to be my project folder. All right, so yeah, I'm going to create a new folder again, and I'm going to call this first web, like this. All right, so now I have a project folder existing inside my main folder. So the next thing we want to do now is to open this first web folder in our code editor, which is Vscode in our case. So here we are now going to go, we can minimize this and then open your Visual Studio Code. All right, so this is my Visual Studio Code. So yours can look a little bit different from this, but whatever it is, if it's telling you to approve authors and all of it, just authorize this, check mark everything, and just make sure you pass all of those phases. All right, mine is appearing like this because I'm a developer, obviously, and I use it every day. All right, so once you have your VS Code open like this, the next thing we want to do now is we want to open that new folder that we just created, which is our project folder, that first web folder that we just created. We want to open it now on VS Code. So for us to be able to do that, you can simply come here that and click on open folder, or in your case, in case you are not seeing this, all you have to do is to come to where you have file here. All right, click on file and then you want to go down to where you see open folder. All right, so you click on open folder and this is going to go to into your computer and it's going to ask you where exactly do you have this folder that you want to open. So we know that our parent folder where our project folder is existing is living in the desktop. All right, so here I'm going to go to desktop, and then here you can see this is our main folder, which is our parent folder Jupiter. Now this is not the folder that we want to open on VS Code. Remember, the folder we want to open on VS Code is our project folder, which is the first web. So here I'm just going to double click on Jupiter. All right, and then inside Jupiter now you can see now that I can find my project folder that I'm interested in. So this is the folder that I'm actually interested in. So all I just need to do is just to click on this once and make sure that the name of the folder that you're interested to work on or work with is what you are seeing down here, like this. So the next thing you want to do now is just to click on select folder. All right, so when you do that now, you just hold on a little while, then VS Code is going to refresh its windows for you, and then boom, here you can find our folder name now. All right, so make sure you get these steps correctly. If you are trying to open a folder and here is now, then what you have done is totally wrong. All right, you need to go back to this video again and then look at the steps that I have done and try to follow the steps accordingly. Make sure that the project folder that you are interested in working with exactly is what you have, is what you have here showing up here, not your parent folder. Because as my case, you can see here that we have what first web showing here, which means that this is the project folder I'm interested in working with. All right, that's been said. The next thing we want to do now is, I can close this up and do that. So the next thing we want to do now is we have opened our project folder now on VS Code. What next? We now want to create a new file. All right, because here now we want to start working with HTML, and for you to be able to work with HTML on VS Code, you have to create an HTML file. So how do you create an HTML file? So very quickly, before showing you how to create an HTML file, let me just walk you through what you are seeing on VS Code here. All right. So this file tab here, is what you can do to accomplish so many things. You can use edit to edit our files. View, you can use this to check command palette in case you want to make a connection with GitHub and the rest of them. And terminal, in case you want to work on terminal on VS Code, we make use of terminal. We're going to get to this when we are working on our back end, just in case you're going to be enrolling for the back end course. All right, and so on and so forth. So on the left panel here, we have this which indicates our explorer, and down here you will see this extensions icon here. All right, so this extension icons is where you can be able to download extensions that's going to help your work easier on VS Code. All right, so when I click on this extension tab now, all right, so you can see some of my installed extensions. Okay, so yeah, for a beginner like you, I can say you should just quickly can first start by installing VS Code icons. All right, and you can also install Prettier, and most importantly, install Live Server. All right, this is very important because this is what we are going to use to be checking our HTML output on the browser. All right, so make sure you download Live Server by Ritwik Day. Okay, so basically those are all of the extensions you'll be needing for your front end. All right, Live Server, VS Code icons, and Prettier. All right, so when we get to the back end of this course, I will tell you some of the other extensions you can download. All right, but most importantly, please try to download this extension, because without this extension, you would not be able to view your HTML output on the browser. So with that being said, let's move on. So here I said we want to create a new file, a new HTML file, and to create a new file on VS Code, you can make use of these icons that we see here. All right, so this first icon is simply telling you it's used for creating a new file. This second one is telling you it's used for creating a new folder, while this is telling you that it is used for refreshing your Explorer, and then this is used for closing your folders in the Explorer. All right, so here now I am interested in creating a new file, so I can come here, click on new file. All right, or I can simply just right click inside this my Explorer, and then I'll click on new file. So any way you want to go about it, it works. All right, so if I come here again, click on this new file, it's going to give me this. So any way you want to go about it, it works. So here I want to create my very first HTML file now. All right, so in programming, all right, our first page in HTML is always referred to as the index page. All right, the index page is always referred to as the first page in every programming world. So here, since this is the first page that we are creating in this project, we can just simply name this what index.html like this. All right, so you can see now that we have index.html. So this means that we have created an or a HTML file. All right, now the next thing you want to do now is you want to call out your starter template. All right, and because we are working with HTML, all right, for you to be able to work with HTML, there's what we call a starter template that you must always call, you must always call out those starter templates, which includes your doc type. All right, your doc type is simply you telling your browser that hey, the type of document this is actually what a HTML document. All right, and for you to be able to do that, you can also do that in several ways, but I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can actually call out your doc type or starter template. All right, so the first method that you can use is to come in here and type HTML, and you'll see the suggestion coming out that okay, what kind of HTML are you talking about? Please always make sure that you are going to choose HTML5. All right, because that's the latest HTML technology. All right, so when you hit enter, you can see all this. This is your starter template. All right, so I'm going to be explaining what all of this means, but for now let us understand how to begin working with HTML. Okay, so you can either do that, or you want to simply just type what doc like this and you hit enter, you can see that we have the same thing. All right. Or if you don't want to do that, you can simply just come in and just call out the exclamation mark and then you hit enter. And as you can see, we have the same what result. All right, we have the same result for the three. So any one of them, you can use any one of them to begin your HTML project. All right, so this is the first step you want to do when working with HTML. All right, so now you can see that we have doc type. Obviously it is an HTML, meaning that this is an HTML document. All right, and then we have this HTML tag here. Okay, so we are going to be looking at tags very shortly and what they do. All right, so we have this HTML tag here. You can see that we have one HTML tag here and then we have another HTML tag here. So the difference between this and this is that this is an opening HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag. All right, and inside this HTML tag we can find two other tags. All right, so here you can see that we have the head tag and then we have the body tag. So the head tag is simply holding some information that stays outside of our body. All right, so every tags or every tags or element that lives in the head tag means that you do not want it to be visible to the user. All right, they have their own purpose. All right, they have their own purpose that they do. Okay, but the only thing in this head tag that might be or that will definitely be visible to your users is this title and when you want to introduce your your fav icon. All right, so this title tag simply means that okay, what should be the title of this page that you are currently working on. All right, so let's say here we want to change this page now to the title of this page to what, HTML basics, like this. So let's do this. So this will now be the title of our page. So for us to be able to see this happening in action, the next thing you want to do now is let's check this on a browser. And for you to be able to check this on the browser, that is why I asked you to make sure that you install the live server extension. So if you have already installed the live server extension, all you need to do is just what, right click and then you go to what, open with live server. All right, so you do that and you wait for your code editor to take you to your browser. All right, so I'm waiting for my browser to come up. All right, so just some moments and it will be up very shortly. I have a lot of things on my computer. All right, so here this is it. Sorry, I do not want this open on this tab, so let's just place it here like this. Okay, so we have this here. So when you hit enter, you can see now up here, you can see what's happening up here. You can see HTML basics here. This is because we have already titled our page to be what, HTML basics. All right, so that is what the title tag does for us. So I believe you understand that now. All right, so the next thing we want to do is actually look at some HTML basics. So let's go back to our manual. So here you can see some HTML basics that we can look at in this module. All right, so here we have the HTML structure, which is what I've explained to you what HTML does. I mean, we have what head is, the head tag is, and what the body tag is. So here let's talk about working with text, HTML entities and hyperlinks, how to add images, how to add video and audio to our HTML project. All right, so here let's first start with what, working with text. So when we're working with text, all right, we have some tags that we use to work with text. All right, we have the H1 to H6 tags, which actually signifies or stands for heading. All right, we use them for heading. All right, so we have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4 up to heading 6. So heading 1 has the largest font, heading 6 have the smallest font. All right, and then we have the p tag, which is known as the paragraph tag, which just stand for some normal text. All right, so let's see this in action. All right, let's see how to use all these tags on our HTML project. Okay, so let's go back to our code editor now. And when you want to, please, in as much as you want your users to be the one to see what you are writing, all your codes have to be inside this body tag. All right, do not come and start writing HTML code outside the body tag. This is very wrong because your users will not be able to see that. All right, so the right approach to this is to make sure that all of your codes goes in between this body tag, as you can see here. All right, so you can see now that my cursor is highlighting in the body tag. So here we want to look at the heading tag and the paragraph tag. All right, so here now I'm going to start with the h1 tag. So all I need to do is just to type h1. So you can see when I typed h, what happened? You can see the suggestions. It's telling me that it can find h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, and the rest of them. But let's first start with h1. So when I do h1, so once you type this and this suggestion just come out, just hit enter or just come and select this abbreviation like this, boom, and then automatically it's going to show you what the opening tag and the closing tag. All right, just as you can see here. So we have two h1 here, but they are not the same thing. One is the opening tag while the other is the closing tag. And when you want to start writing HTML code, make sure that you are writing in between the tags. All right, just the way we are writing in between our body tag, our heading content has to go in between the h1 tags. So here I can simply write hello world like this. All right, so I've done hello world. So I come to the next line, I'm going to do h2. All right, we do hello world again. All right, and then I'm going to do this up to h6. All right, sorry, so I'll do h3. So hello world, and then we want to do h4, say hello world again. So this, I'm trying to show you what the major difference is between all of this h1 tags, I mean h tags rather. Right, then finally we have h6. Now it stops at h6, there's nothing like h7, just have that in mind. Okay, so here I have h1 to h6 tag now. So let's look at this output on the browser. All right, so if you want your project to be on autosave, just like the way mine is, all right, all you need to do is to go back to where you find this file tab here, click on that, then go to where you see autosave. Just click on autosave, and then automatically everything you do in here becomes auto saved. All right, so you don't need to be opening with live server 1 million times. All right, all you just need to do is just go back to your browser directly, and then boom, you will see all of that here. So as you can see, so you can see that we have hello world, hello world, hello world. Now you can see that the first hello world has the biggest font, followed by the second, the third, and up to the last one. So that is the difference between the tag. That is the difference between the h1 to the h6 tag. All right, I believe this is clear to you. Okay, so let's look at some other tag. Let's look at the p tag. All right, let's look at the p tag. Okay, so for the p tag now, all I want to do now is to just come down here and type p, and the p tag is known as the paragraph tag. All right, we use it to write just normal basic text. So yeah, let's display some dummy text, and to display some dummy text in HTML we make use of lorem like this, and you now tell lorem what number of words or characters that you want. Okay, so here let me just say I want lorem to give me what lorem 30 like this. All right, so I have lorem 30 like this. So when I go back to the browser now, what do you see? Sorry, you can see here that I have some line of text. So you can see that this is way different from what we have in the h1s. All right, so this is basically and specifically used for writing normal text. All right, so we have seen how the heading tags work and how the paragraph tags work, which is known as the p tag. So let's move further. All right, so the next thing we have here is HTML entities and hyperlinks. All right, we have HTML entities and hyperlinks. All right, so when we're talking of HTML entities, it's when you want to display some, some set of symbols. You want to display some set of symbols and do some effigies and the rest of them. Okay, so here we have copyright, we have trademark, and we have no breaking space. Okay, so let's see how to work with HTML entities in our project. All right, so let's say we want to add a copyright section in our project. So here I want to introduce the HR. All right, HR simply means horizontal rule. This is just going to rule a line to demarcate the section. So when you go back to your browser, you check this. Can you see that this is what the HR does? It will just demarcate the section for us. Okay, so yeah, I want to do HR, and now after the HR, let's now come and add some elements. So here we said we want to look at what some HTML have tag again. All right, because I want to write some line of text which is a copyright word. So you can say all right, all right reserved, and now I want to display the copyright symbol. All right, so you can just say copyright, and to now display the copyright symbol, the first thing you want to do is to start with the and sign. All right, start with the and sign, and after that you now want to type what the exact thing you want to use. So here I want to display copyright, so all I have to do is just say copy like this. So when you type copy, you see the suggestion showing you which one of the copy you want to use, and the one we are interested in is this. All right, just the copy, then you follow up with the what semicolon. All right, so when you check this now on the browser, now what can you see? You see now that we have what you can find the copyright symbol here. All right, so that's just what HTML entities is all about. You can find more on HTML entities when you go to this website. Oh, sorry, my connection is disconnected. Let me quickly connect that. Okay, so when you come to this site, which is known as w3corp.com, you'll find several kind of HTML entities that you can use. All right, all you just need to do is just select which exact one you want to use, and you can see just like the pattern I showed you, you have the and symbol, then the name of the entity you want to use, and followed by the semicolon. So in this place, you see several kind of entities that you can use for your HTML project. All you just need to do all you just need to do is just to come back here and just pick up anything that you want to do, and then you'll be good to go. All right, so that's for HTML entities. All right, so let's look at the next thing. The next thing here is what hyperlinks. So let's see how we can work with hyperlinks. All right, so working with hyperlink, what's hyperlink? Hyperlink simply means creating a link. All right, you are creating a link from one page to another, or creating a link within a page. All right, I'm very sure that you have been to some websites where you see that they link their navigation menu from the top, and it takes you to the section where you have the content of that. All right, so you can do any of that. My personal student. Yes, sir. All right, sir. So to work with the hyperlink, we make use of a tag known as the A tag. All right, this is known as the A tag, which is also known as the anchor tag. So to get started with that, all you need to do is to call the A tag like this, and then you hit enter. So this is going to come out with the opening A tag and the closing A tag. And as you can see, by default, the A tag comes with the href attribute, which is what you can see here. And what does this href attribute mean? It means that you are telling this particular anchor tag that, okay, for the particular content you'll be passing inside this anchor tag, once it is clicked upon, what action do you want it to make? Where are you linking your user to, if it is internally or externally? All right, so first let's say we want to link from one page to another page. All right, so the first thing we want to do is first create a second, second page. So let's quickly create a second page. So yeah, I'm going to create a new file, and let's just say I want to call this landing.html. All right, so as usual, call out your starter template, and here let's say I want to have an h1 tag. Here we can now say in the landing page like this. All right, so you say you are in the landing page like this. So now what we are trying to do now is that we want to link our user now from our index page to the landing page. Okay, so here let us say we want to add a text. So you can see click here to get started like this. All right, so now you now need to specify where would they be taken to once they click on this. So you come to your href, and because we already have our destination existing here, all we have to do is to use what, a forward slash. And when you do a forward slash, it simply means that you are going to the root of your project, and this is going to display everything it can find in the root. Okay, so here you can see that it's telling you that you can find index.html and landing.html. So all you need to do is just select the destination, which is what, landing.html in this case. So meaning that when they click on this, it should take them to this page. All right, so let's go and see this in action now. So you come back in here, and then you can see now that because of this has been joined to be a link, you can see down that we have an underline, and then you can see this cursor pointer. All right, this hand showing, it means that it is pointing that okay, this is clickable. So when you click on this, now what happens, it takes you to where landing.html. You can see now it's saying that what, you are in the landing page. All right, so this is how the external, the external linking works. All right, this is how the external linking works. Now let's say for instance you want to link within a page. All right, you want to link within a page, you don't want to go outside of this index page. How would you be able to do that? All right, that's very fine. So for you to be able to do that, quickly let me just have some line of text. All right, so let me just do hr here, and just duplicate this. All right, so that this can be scrollable. All right, let's add more. Okay, let me add the h1 tag here and say I want you to get here. All right, so we have that. So you can see this, I want you to get here. So now let's assume that when we click on this first hello world, all right, we want it to take us to this section that says what, I want you to get here. How would you be able to do that? That is very possible and easy to do. So here all you need to do is just to come down to where you have your destination, which is what, this h1 tag, because this is where you want to link your users to. All right, the first thing you want to do here is to add an attribute to the opening tag. All right, attributes are always added to the opening tag, not the closing tag. The closing tag does not have anything to do with attributes. All right, so you want to add a new attribute to this opening tag, and this attribute is called what, the id. All right, you want to create a new id for this h1 tag. All right, so here I'm going to type id like this, hit enter. So this id means that you want to give this a unique name. All right, so let's give this a unique name and say I want to call this what, load. All right, so it means that now this our h1 tag here has an id name of what, load. Okay, so when you go up here, so this is where you want to add your linking to. All right, because what we said was that once this is being clicked upon, we want it to take us to where we have that h1 tag. So it means that we are going to introduce our anchor tag to this h1 tag here. So for you to be able to do that, all you have to do is to simply just remove what you have inside this h1 tag like this by doing a Ctrl X, and then introduce your a tag like this. All right, so in between your a tag, now you can see now that my cursor is in between the a tag. You now paste back what, the hello world in there. Then in the href now, all right, since you are not linking externally, it is within a page, all you have to do is, because you have given that section an ID, you have to call out the ID, which in this case the ID is known to call out an ID in HTML. We make use of what? The hash symbol. So all you need to do is just to call out the hash symbol like this, and then the next thing you want to do is to call out the name of the ID, which is load in this case. So the name of our ID is load. All right, so when you go back to your browser now, and then you can see now that this is now showing that it is what? Clickable. So when you click on this now, what happens? You see that it brings you what? Down here that says I want you to get here. All right, so this is all about hyperlinking, the heading tag, the paragraph tag, and the rest of them. All right, so in the next videos we are going to be looking at more HTML tags that we can work with. All right, I'll see you in the next video.